Go.
Okay, so this is the second take for our high school project, where we're going to talk about Shakespeare and his influences, and other things related to Shakespeare, like the works he inspired and the rest. Unfortunately, we could not be joined by another member of our group, Madhu, but she will be contributing very much to this project in other ways. I am joined here by Julie.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
And also by Lisa.
Hi. Welcome to high school.
All right. Welcome to high school. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the influences of Shakespeare nowadays, and then we'll follow it up by a opinion each of us has on Shakespeare. All right, so I'll go first. An influence Shakespeare had nowadays could be seen very much in, I wouldn't say nowadays, but close enough, in a movie called The Lion King, which follows very closely the plot of Hamlet, in which the king, in both works, is training his son to take over the kingdom and to better manage the kingdom and his subjects. But the king is killed, and there is a fight for power in both works. Anybody got another one?
There is this quote in Hamilton, the play, when Hamilton says, he quotes, "Tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this better pace from day to day," and relates the characters from the play to the characters from Macbeth. And I think that's really interesting because it was something that I only was a part of one of the songs that I only really understood after I
you discovered the original works.
Yeah,
after
it's something that only made sense once we experienced the original thing.
Yeah,
so that's really cool.
You could say that only because of Shakespeare. Well, obviously only because of Shakespeare, since he inspired the quote, but because you read upon Shakespeare original works, you actually learned something positive about something you already liked, right?
Yeah, it's like an add-on.
Okay. Yeah. Shakespeare, to me, this is my opinion, of course, not actual fact, but he's already a integral and ingrained part of our society. He's influenced and inspired so many works we could see in a lot of ways. Like for another example would be Moby Dick, but that is not so very modern example, but a very important one nonetheless. All right, Lisa?
I always had a different vision of Shakespeare. I never knew who he was, in which time he lived. So my vision was limited to the fact that he wrote tragic plays that got very famous and nowadays are part of not only British culture, but the world's culture itself.
Yeah, it can be seen in various places all across the globe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, that was our opinions on Shakespeare. We're going to move on to the second topic, which we're going to talk about his early career. And, well, inevitably, when talking about his early career, we're also going to talk about his personal life, which surprisingly is not that common or seen, right?
Yeah, because he did not left he haven't left any journals or letters. We just know about him after he became an actor and started writing his plays.
Yeah, he also had another period in which they call it the lost years, right? In which there's no records of him at all.
Yeah, it's like a 7-year period between the baptism of his twins and when he first started appearing in the theater scene in London. So there's like a lot of like what inspired him to become an actor, or why he moved to London and stuff like that we just don't know because there's no information about it anywhere.
True.
Yes.
There's literally a lot of the influences he had we don't really know. Well, it's really a shame because it would have been very important for the history.
Yeah, but one thing
Yeah.
I think that might have influenced in the tone of his works was the time that he was living, because it was the time, it was the period of the bubonic plague, and he was surrounded by death and a morbid reality.
Morbid thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Morbid reality.
Morbid reality.
And it's not surprising that most of his works have this
tone.
Most of them end in tragedy and death, and everybody loses. Yeah, it's really.
It was all around him.
Yeah, I guess he couldn't escape it, so he made it part of his works.
Maybe it was a way to cope with it.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that as a means to cope with what's happened. All right. Well, I do actually have an influence. Not something he wrote or said that influenced him, but something that was noticed in the way he made plays, which was the use of blank verse. Blank verse was something pioneered by Christopher Marlowe, another poet and writer, which Shakespeare heavily incorporated into, I believe, all of his plays. So that is something very interesting. All right. We talked about all of his, all we had to say about his early career and his influences. So we're going to move on to the third topic, which is the use of how Shakespeare was influenced by mythology, most importantly, Greek mythology. Anybody want to say something?
Yeah, there are a lot of references to different Greek gods and goddesses, mainly in Hamlet. Like, there are a lot of references to Zeus, to Lethe, to a lot of gods, and a lot of reference to the Greek culture itself, like the government, Caesar, and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can actually say that he was heavily influenced. Oh, there we go, another influence.
Another influence.
I actually have another play he did that was heavily influenced by the Greeks, which was Troia and Callis, in which when the play is happening, it is during the Trojan War. No, the one where they try to invade Troia, but they can't, so they do the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this. So it was during that period, and it affected it heavily during the entire play. So there we go, another heavily inspired Greek mythology. So anybody want to say something before we move on? No?
I think that's it.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the fourth one and the final, which is the conspiracy theory. Lisa?
More interesting in my time to shine. So, there are a lot of conspiracy theories that people have about Shakespeare, and one of the most important is that many people believe that he never existed. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Like he was a front, right? A figurehead?
Yes, he was a front. Like, people were using Shakespeare as a pseudonym to write. They could have actually, we don't know who. In this theory, we don't know who wrote it. We just know that people used Shakespeare's name to write it. Like, many people believe that Shakespeare might have been a woman, or
because at that time it was very very common, right, for a woman, because they couldn't really say they were a woman or use their woman name, so they created fake names to publish their works.
which
Right.
happened to Agatha Christie as an example, and it is actually really recent. So, not a long time ago with people doing that. So it's not weird that at that time people would do the same.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
It's
it
really
makes sense.
sad.
Yeah,
It
it's
makes
very
sense.
sad, but it does make sense. But I think we're running out of time, so
No,
we're going.
the last theory. We forgot it.
Oh,
Oh.
another theory.
Yeah, there is another theory, which is a little bit more silly, and technically is not a theory, but it's a different way to look at at one of his plays. So, this theory, which is not exactly a theory, is that Shakespeare was the first fan fiction writer.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
In fan fiction? What? He saw a work and didn't like what happened?
Yes,
he made his own?
exactly.
Oh, come on.
He was inspired by a poem of that time that was written about a couple, just like Romeo and Juliet. And he looked at it and said, I don't like this. It could have been worse. And,
Could have been worse.
and,
You know, like nowadays I would say, oh my god, she's lying. But, you know, it's Shakespeare. He really liked tragedy, so it does
It's
fit.
not surprising.
yeah,
not
that's a really popular trope between the fan fiction community. There are a lot of people who just rewrite the story to write in a tragic ending.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand it either, but
Yeah, I
that
don't like
exists.
it either. But it does.
And
Okay.
Also, there's this thing that is also like not a theory, but it's really cool because it's like, whoa, sort of mind blowing. The fact that Shakespeare was, in theory, married, considering that he existed, right?
Yeah.
He was married to a woman named Anne Hathaway,
What?
and we have an Anne Hathaway nowadays that is
an actress is.
an actress.
Yeah. I was about to say.
And she's married to a guy that looks exactly like the pictures we have of Shakespeare, the paintings.
Immortal.
He looks
Yeah,
exactly
that's
the
creepy.
same.
That's really creepy.
That's so crazy. They're soulmates. I like to think this way. I think it's really cool.
Maybe if someday they have twins or a daughter named Sarah, they could have been like a
Yeah.
reincarnation or something like this. I don't know.
True, if you believe in that
If
thing.
you believe in that,
All right. So, are we done? Does anybody have anything else to say?
I think we're done.
Okay. So, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. More like there's not
Yes.
really a video, and just remember, it is a
It's
literary
just a theory. Oh, yeah. It's just a theory. A literary theory.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.